Each step the kid takes through the darkness illuminates another section of a blue-tinted footpath. The lights take him away from the cartoon professor, away from the ripped mummer, away from the rot-smelling thing in the darkness. The footpath brings the kid to a portion of wall which leaks light. Noiselessly, the doors of the elevator open. At the front of the cabin stand two of the professor's visored guards, and behind them stand two more. Between them, visibly excited, waving his hand as if it could easily be missed, stands Mesomil.
"How'd it go?"
The butcher's boy asks, breathlessly.
"Did the professor like you? Did he give you a hybrid? Are you ready to battle?"
"Yes," the kid says. The door slides shut behind him. The elevator makes no sound as it descends. It is only through the plunging feeling in his stomach that the child knows they are moving.
"Do you want to see the hybrid he gave me?"
The butcher's boy asks.
"It's like a dog. It's like a dog, but better. It's like a dog that knows magic and can fight. Wanna see?"
The butcher's boy does not wait for a response. With a flick of the wrist and a press of the thumb, Mesomil lets his hybrid loose in the elevator. The creature is, indeed, similar to a dog. The hybrid looks just like one of the guard mutts that the farmers would use to keep their fields whole, yet at the arch of its back sits glowing flickers of crimson which sway from side to side. It looks just like a dog, yet when it breathes, puffs of smoke bellow from its nostrils and mouth. It slobbers, just like a dog, yet the spit is a sickly yellow and hisses when it reaches the floor of the elevator. The hybrid spins around in a circle, barking, excited to be out of the box. The excitement is reflected threefold in the butcher's boy's eyes. He hops around with joy as the dog spins through the elevator. The professor's guards, on the other hand, are considerably less excited. They say nothing, but their visored helmets follow the wild creature as it runs through the cabin. One of them shakes his head. Another moves his hand down his rifle towards the trigger.
"Neat, huh?"
The butcher's boy squeals.
"Just like a dog, but better."
"Yeah," the kid says. "Just like a dog." The butcher's boy takes out his H-Dex and aims it at the dog-like creature. He mouths along with the artificial voice as if he was trying to commit the encyclopedia entry to memory. Hybrid FA004, commonly referred to as burnbark. Though it may look and act like a dog, FA004's internal body temperature sits at around 200 Celsius when resting and 600 Celsius when in the heat of battle. Rarely found in the wild, weak against fire and frost. Approach with caution. The message from the H-Dex makes the kid take a step back from the flaming mutt. He bumps up against one of the professor's guards. The visored man pushes the kid back towards the panting hybrid, but he takes a step back himself.
"Show me yours,"
the butcher's boy demands, scratching the burn bark behind his ear. The flaming mutt taps his legs in pleasure, and then, at the height of ecstasy, he burps out a plume of smoke.
"Come on, show me your hybrid."
"You'll see it when we battle," the kid says, trying not to think about how much bigger the butcher's boy creature is.
"Come on, we're friends,"
Mesomil insists.
"Friends trust each other and show each other things. Come on, show me your hybrid."
The more the butcher's boy insists, the wilder the mutt becomes. One more plea and the dog looks like it might start spitting fire. There's a sinking feeling in the kid's chest that makes him want to keep his hybrid hidden from the flaming mutt. But the kid convinces himself it's just the elevator that's making him nauseous. Against his instincts, he flips his wrist and releases the vine fur.
"Cool, a cat. I have one back home."
In an instant, the elevator ride turns to chaos. The burnbark's friendly nature quickly twists into jowl-snapping rage. Whatever puppy-like innocence that sat in the hybrid's eyes is quickly drowned out by the thirst for blood. The kid's vine fur leaps to a corner of the elevator and it bares its needle teeth. From the bulb of the cat-eyed creature, thin long tendrils emerge and snap at the rabid fire dog. Mesomil wraps his arms around the creature to stop it from leaping at the vine fur, yet the boy scarcely impedes the movements of the mutt. The fiery dog barks plumes of black smoke and boiling spit at the frightened hybrid. A violent meet in a confined space seems imminent. Just as the burn bark slips the butcher's boy's grip, however, one of the visored guards brings the situation to a stop. With a savage kick, he strikes both the boy and the dog. "Enough!" he bellows, aiming his shining rifle. "Put those things back in the box before I blow a hole in them. You're not children anymore. You're hybrid trainers. Act like it." The kid does not need to be told twice. With a flick of the wrist and a click of the thumb, his hybrid is safely tucked away into his HC device. Mesomil tries to calm down the creature before recalling it, but he does a poor job of it. It is only once the burning mutt is finally captured that the guard lowers his rifle.
"I wonder who will win,"
Mesomil whispers to the kid when the cabin calms.
"I guess we'll see."
The kid does not answer, but he's thinking the same thing. The rest of the descent, with the exception of the soft whirring of the elevator, happens in complete silence. It isn't until the metal doors slide open that the bonfire smell fades away. The boys are brought into an arena of edgeless white metal. They are greeted with applause. Above them stand a few familiar faces and many unknown ones. The kid sees the metal-eyed general and Dr. Canberra and the man who had been mayor of Gorod Willow since before the kid was born. Mesomil smiles and waves to the crowd, but the kid does not. He keeps his eyes locked on the far corner of the arena, a corner in which the ceiling lights are absent and only darkness sits. In that black abyss, something stirs. A chill runs down the child's spine.
My heart always soars when I meet the young minds that have volunteered to battle in my honor. This spring is no different. The two boys that I have had the pleasure of meeting will surely be great representatives of Gorod Willow and will make themselves known all across the academic empire.
The kid barely notices the flickering blue light in the center of the arena. In the bright lights of the chamber, the cartoon professor scarcely exists. The kid tries to focus on the flicker of the light to appear respectful, but his eyes don't let him. They keep on drifting through darkness. His imagination, against his will, explores the terrible phantasmagoria brewing in the dark.
Could we get another round of applause for these brave boys?
The clapping snaps the boys' attention to the crowd. They were all clapping for him. Again. This time they are wearing military uniforms and lab coats, and the paint isn't peeling off the walls, but they are still clapping for him and avoiding his eyes. Only one from the crowd dares to meet the kid's gaze. Dr. Canberra. She claps and smiles, and when the boy notices her, she continues to do so. When their eyes meet, ever so gently, Canberra nods to the dark corner of the arena and shakes her head. She claps with the rest of the group, but as the kid continues to stare, her smile cracks. She shakes her head again.
No money is laid down. No reputation is at stake. This is only the first of many chances these two hybrid trainers will have to test their might against each other.
The flickering light at the center of the room says,
The two trainers are expected to battle with honor. No harsh words are to be exchanged. Strikes are to be kept between the hybrids. When the battle is deemed to be finished, all hostilities are to cease. Do you two boys promise to follow the rules?
"Yes!"
shouts the butcher boy. "Yes, sir," says the kid, trying to match his opponent's energy, but failing. Another round of hollow applause bounces off white metal. Across the battlefield, the kid sees a familiar flash of static. The moment Mesomil's burn bark manifests into existence, it starts to dash towards the kid. The butcher's boy barely manages to grab it by the nape of the neck to keep it still. The snarling and barking of the deranged fire dog frighten the kid, but he follows the butcher's boy's lead. The vine fur is calm when it exits the HC device. It sees the opposing hybrid, but it pays no attention to it. After a brief glance at the raging mutt, the six-pawed creature starts to lick at one of its slim limbs.
"You'll win,"
the kid whispers, more to himself than the cat. The vine fur indulges in one last long and thorough lick of its paw. Then it turns around. Behind those slitted yellow eyes, there's an incomprehensible universe of untamed madness. The kid cannot read the vine fur's expression, but a question tugs at his heart.
"Can you understand me?"
he asks. The vine fur does not answer. It does not change expression or acknowledge the boy's words. It simply stares into his eyes. The kid's question remains unanswered, but he convinces himself he knows.
"We will win,"
he finally says to his hybrid.
"I'm sure we will."
I am a man of science,
the cartoon professor at the center of the arena proclaims as the lights above start to dim down.
It will be inappropriate for an academic such as myself to initiate violence. Instead, I will leave the honor to the mayor of our prosperous city.
Above, in the bleachers, a man struggles to stand up. His frame is young, but the folds of his face make him look ancient. The kid recognizes him. He is the man who has led every single harvest festival and winter solstice celebration in the kid's short life. He's the same man who drew the kid's name in the meeting hall the night prior. During the volunteer meeting, the mayor was his usual stern and reserved self. But as he climbs out of his seat, his cheeks are flush and his feet are off balance. When he finally gets up from his seat, he nearly stumbles from the gallery into the arena itself. But with some help from the military men, he is stood upright. "Boys!" he yells, managing to slur even that single word. "Boys, we want you to know. All of Garwillow wants you to know. We all want you to know that we support our boys." He starts to collapse back into his seat, but the military men hold him upright. "Ha!" the mayor yells, partly in shock, partly as if he had just remembered something. "I announce the battle begun."
"Headbutt the cat,"
the butcher boy yells the moment the mayor is allowed to collapse in his chair. With impeccable speed, the hound rushes the vine fur. Before the feline hybrid even has a chance to acknowledge its opponent, it is propelled across the arena through blunt trauma. The hybrid's yelp of pain flushes the kid's chest with rage.
"Scratch! Scratch that stupid mutt!"
the kid screams, his voice burning with fear and anger.
"Scratch! Destroy him! Scratch!"
The vine fur leaps to its hind paws and delivers a flurry of blows. Most of them connect, but Mesomil's hybrid sustains the damage and continues to fight. Somewhere beneath the frantic drumbeat of his heart, the kid hears the butcher's boy shout more commands, but it is as if they were in a foreign tongue.
"Scratch! Scratch! Scratch!"
The kid screeches, like a fanatic stuck in a trance ordained by God.
"Scratch! We can win this! Scratch!"
The vine fur unleashes another torrent of attacks. More of them connect. Simmering blood spills out onto the battlefield. The butcher's boy Burnbark is still standing, but the flurry of claws has taken its toll.
"Scratch! Keep on scratching! Keep on—" "No!"
yells a voice from the balcony.
"Don't exhaust your hybrid! It'll be an easy target when—"
For a mere second, the kid sees Dr. Canberra leaning out towards the arena. He does not see her for long. With brute force, the military men convince her to sit back down.
"Bite!"
the butcher's boy yells. The hound's teeth connect directly to the vine fur's jugular. Shrill cries of pain echo through the arena. The feline hybrid quickly turns from a worthy opponent to the hound's play toy. The vine fur attempts to scratch at its foe, but its attacks are mere pantomime of fight. The battle has already been lost. When a burnbark grows tired of his prey, he throws it at the kid's feet. All trace of the hybrid's carefree attitude is wiped away. The hybrid looks like a stuffed toy filled with vegetables that has been ripped apart. The vine fur whimpers quietly as it struggles to keep its eyes open. The kid still cannot understand the world behind the hybrid's eyes, but deep inside he knows that the creature blames him for its pain.
The first battle has a clear winner,
The cartoon professor announces, manifesting by the half-corpse of the feline creature.
Congratulations to Mesomil, the butcher's boy, for...
In a flash of bright red light, the cartoon professor disappears. Fire. A burst of fire from the burnbark's mouth drowns out the blue light scientist. It drowns out the pained cries of the vine fur. It consumes the kid's hybrid fully and turns it into nothing but a black husk. The burnbark continues to vomit fire onto the creature until there is nothing left to burn. By the time Mesomil retracts the creature back into his HC device, all that is left of the vine fur is white ash. The arena is silent. Slowly, cautiously, the butcher's boy moves across the battlefield to survey the damage.
He killed it.
He finally says to the kid,
I'm so sorry. I didn't know that.
"Leave." A creaky voice from above cries,
All observers of the battle are to leave immediately, as is the butcher's boy. Only the defeated is to remain.
The balcony empties out without argument. Even Professor Canberra departs without sparing a glance to the kid. Mesomil looks around in confusion for an exit. Before he sees one, he finds himself in a company of an escort armed with shining rifles. As he is marched towards the edge of the arena, he attempts to apologize further to the kid, but the back of a rifle quickly silences him. The lights above start to flicker and wane. The crowd leaves the arena. Mesomil and his escort leave the arena. The kid is left alone. The lights continue to dim until the hall is so dark the kid cannot see his own hands. From the darkness above, a familiar symphony of whirs and clicks approaches. With it comes the familiar, overwhelming smell of rot.
What am I to do with you?
A voice that reeks of death whispers into the kid's ear.
What am I to do with a hybrid trainer who lacks a hybrid?
And that wraps up this chapter of Hybrid Master. Don't miss the next one. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, and drop hybrid in the comments to help the story ride the algorithmic waves. If you want instant access to all chapters, swing by patreon.com/MikeJLanger or become a channel member. You'll get early access to all episodes and your name in the credits. Huge thanks to the patrons for keeping the series alive. Bob Konderg, Sr. Iptid, Christopher Brunda, Daniel Wengel, Dante Kincaid, Mr. Creepypasta, Quiet Pills, and Koos. Stay safe, stay sane, and I'll see you in the next one.